we're talking about how you worked at State Farm, you were doing this video, you went to school, and I also was told that you used to do paparazzi. Is that true?
I didn't do paparazzi. That was one of it was basically the short answer is I did a paparazzi vlog. So by association, I was definitely a paparazzi. I was rolling around the streets with two gentlemen, Miles and Caesar. And this is a great story if you want me to go on about it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Dive right
Yeah,
into it.
this was like the first I don't know like what to call this moment in my life, but um big break and it's still yielding to this day, like this gig. And I'll go into like the explanation. Basically, I'm sitting in my car one night. I think I filmed at the gym or I was coming home from school, sitting in front of my house, and I didn't go in yet because I don't know, I don't know, just daily habit. Sometimes I just like would sit in my car, watch a video on YouTube, and I'm going through trending, and I see a BuzzFeed video, and it says "The Day in the Life of a Paparazzo" or Paparazzi, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I'm like, I don't know. For me, I was like, I've never really thought about like I know what paparazzi is, but I'm like, I've never really thought about like what their life might be like. And I start watching the video, and I'm like, damn, that's just like a kid like my age, and the video goes on to show them like romping around New York City and getting these shots that yield tens of thousands of dollars, and it was like a really crazy looking lifestyle. I was like, whoa, this is not something I want to do, but I'm like, I kind of like this. Like, this is like a really cool story. And at that time, I was really like hyper sensitive when it came to like just finding out people's stories because I don't know, I was building like this vlog. Either way, I go to the beginning of the video, I find the kid's name, I go on Instagram, he has like 90,000 followers. I'm like, oh shit, all right, he's pretty relevant. I hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm like, would love to shoot a video, whatever, like, free." And I didn't expect him to answer me, but like the next day, he hits me back, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "Awesome!" Or he's like, "Let's meet up." Obviously, first, he wants to make sure I'm like, normal. Uh, so I think a few weeks later, I met up with him, and we were in a cafe, and it was so funny. We kicked it off, and they're like, "Do you want to come roll with us? Because we gotta go." Like they're on the clock basically in their mind, and basically they're like they saw like a security guard I think or something. They're like, "Oh, that's Pink's driver." Like Pink the performer, and I'm like, "What?" And like she comes out, and it's this big scene, and I'm just like, I have my camera with me, so I'm already like rolling. And from that moment on, like it was a very exciting, weird, and awesome like experience to like I don't know, see a celebrity just come out the door and like all these paparazzi roll up and then you follow them to the restaurant and it's like this big scene. And this is like my first time meeting these two people. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Uh, basically, I later go on to film 10 episodes for them. It was like, I don't know, maybe like 3 months of shooting. It would basically be like go in one day for the week, film, and then edit. And then that was on top of school, State Farm, Ed's work, is the gym, and then that. That was when I was pulling like the most late hours I've ever experienced and like the most hustle, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, it produced like what I think is like one of my most favorite projects was like this behind the scenes of two paparazzi in New York City. It was pretty fun.
That's wild. Do you have
Yeah.
any other crazy stories over the course of when you were shooting them for those 10 episodes in those couple months?
Definitely. The first one that's coming to mind. I don't know if it's the craziest, but I think it was like the last episode or I don't know, but it was July, I think. And in the summer months are super crazy for them. In the winter months, it starts to slow down, and celebrities are not they're not walking around. They're not like in Soho, and they're in New York more likely versus like LA. But it was like Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin. Like it was a craze. Like it was just day after day after day. It was like go get Justin because that's where the money's at, and he was just accessible, and they knew where he was. And so I was with them, and I think the day started off. It was basically I was always trying to bank on getting like the best day because I could only go out to New York City, like once a week. Like I couldn't put all my time into them, so it was luck of the draw, and this happened to be like an awesome day. It started out with like an American Idol star, and she like got engaged, and we're like basically chasing after her because she's like getting the ring resized, and that's kind of like a big story apparently. And if you get an exclusive on that, they can yield like I don't know, thousands of dollars. So that's how the morning started. And then the crazier part was just Justin Bieber comes out of his hotel, and then there's like 10 paparazzi groups, like whether it's one person or two people per car. Justin gets in his ride, and he also has like a secondary like bodyguard ride. And then there's like 10 paparazzi cars, and they're flying to Brooklyn because they're going to Hailey Baldwin's house. and Justin Bieber, his ride is blowing the red, and that means there's like 12 cars after that blowing the red, paparazzi, and they're all trying to get in front of each other, and I'm filming, and I have my buddy with me, who's also like secondarily helping me film this. And it's really funny, but you look back in the footage and you look back in like the moment, you're like, wow, like we were all like flying over like the Brooklyn Bridge and ripping through like highways in Brooklyn, and it was hilarious and awesome, but just absolutely dangerous, like absolutely dangerous.
So like, how did they know where Justin Bieber is going to be in these celebrities? Like, what is like, how do they figure that out?
Yeah, so they have like a little network. Basically, it's kind of man when it comes to the paparazzi because everyone wants like an exclusive, and that's because it's just going to yield more money. Like you're the only one that got that shot. Um, but there's also, if there's paparazzi there, there's also autographers typically, graphers, and those are people that like make great money, six figures, and they're out there every day in New York City, waiting in front of theaters and apartments and whatnot, just trying to get the signature from The Rock or Justin Timberlake. So there's a connection there. So basically, I was with these paparazzi. They're hitting up graphers that they know. They're like, hey, who's in town? They're talking. So there's a little bit of a community there where they know where people are at. And then they're also like on social media, just like really looking at like micro things like, oh, they posted that cafe, they must be here for the weekend, stuff like that. And then they just, and it wasn't even like a written like log or anything. It was literally just in their head. They're like, okay, Justin's here. He's not at Hailey Baldwin's house. And then they know what hotel he sleeps at or whatever his apartment is. It's a lot of just patterns, I think. But they also like know like micro details, like literally any black Escalade. I think that's the car. Yeah, Escalade. And they'll look at the license plate and they'll know exactly whose ride that is. They'll know if it's Rihanna's car or, she could be in it, but it could be just like her bodyguard driving around the car. But basically they know license plates. Like if they see like a dog, like literally like they'll know that dog before they even look up like belongs to like Selena Gomez, something crazy. So they have incredible memories, and they're like the way they pick off people on the streets when they're driving is absolutely incredible. It's like I've never seen anything. Like I have really good eyesight, and literally I've seen them pick off someone like on a motorcycle with their, like they didn't even turn their head, like it's just like the back of them from like 2 blocks down. They're like, oh, Jay Leno's over there, or something. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and I'm pretty funny. I'll be like, hold the phone. Like, how do you even see that? How do you know that? And then sure enough, it is, and it's just incredible.
That's wild. It's
Yeah.
like, where does that project live today? Like, can people go and watch that? Like, I kind of want to go check that out.
Totally. Yeah, it lives on their YouTube page, 24/7 Paps. If you just type in positive Paps, 001, 002, there's 10 episodes. That's what it was branded as, positive Paps. And it's because
Okay.
and that name they already had, but it really, that's why I was doing it. If they were bad people and if they were like doing some scummy stuff, I would never do the blog for them. But I was really in love with the show because when you think paparazzi and what they do, it's very taboo and it's very intrusive. But they were actually like genuine, awesome, and like really nice people, and they were friends. Like were texting conversations with a lot of celebrities, like just because they've got to know them for like a decade or 5 years or whatever, and they're kind of like both on the come up. So there's like a relationship between paparazzi and celebrity, and they were cool. Like literally, if a bodyguard was like, "Hey, don't follow us," like they don't want it, they'd be like, cool, like got it, because they're going to see that bodyguard again.